Hi everyone, welcome to the InterSoul demonstration on how to set up your business on our beta version using the starter plan. So this is really for businesses who already have an existing strong website, or maybe they use some other platform to really showcase their business. But the idea behind the starter plan, which is a free plan, is really from the seeker's perspective. What InterSoul is aiming to be is like the one-stop shop for all things spiritual, holistic, wellness, alternative therapies, really dedicating a platform to that space and for the seeker to just come to one place on the internet where they can find anything and everything in that specific industry range. And then from there we can then direct them to the different your different websites or whatever other platforms you use, but at least it's one place where they can go to. And we've also building some functionality for them to go and create an account for free, and they'll have a bit of functionality as well. We've got paid plans where for someone who doesn't really have a strong existing website, maybe they run their business on a Facebook page. I know some service providers that don't like using Facebook, so we've created, I guess, like a mini website for them where they can actually go and run their business, and they can do bookings from there, and they can get in contact with their seekers. So we have another video that's really, it's the value and our premium plan. So if you're interested in that, you can go and look at the video. Otherwise, this one is really just dedicated for the starter plan. So this is our homepage. This is our beta version. We're doing a full launch in a couple of weeks, so things might change a little bit from today, but otherwise, this is how it's going to look like. So first of all, here at the top banner, it's what we call our modalities. So there are so many different services within this space. So obviously, we've not got everything in here. I think every country might call things differently, and things keep changing and popping up. So we'll probably expand and keep changing this as well as the industry changes. But in the meantime, it gives you an idea of what kind of things the seeker can come and find here, and where your business type might fit into this. Then we've got a join us here button, which I'll talk to in a moment. You can either join as a seeker or you can join as a service provider. If someone hasn't actually created an account yet and they try and view more, it's going to ask them to either log in or sign up. So you do need to have an account to view any more details. With the search functionality here at the moment, what we're starting off with are things like services, events, and retreats. Services are usually like your regular services, like your regular yoga teacher or a regular sound healer, or one-on-one session. So it's really for regular service providers. Events are more either one-off, or maybe we've got space here that you can have, maybe if you have in your community a weekly drum circle, or a weekly men's yoga or women's yoga session on the beach. Things like that can probably sit under here under events. You don't need to have a paid account. You can just advertise it here to kind of just make the community aware of these services. And then down the bottom, we've got retreats as well. In future, we do want to expand on the types of offerings we offer. So if you went to click on join us and join as a service provider, and you clicked on upcoming features, have a read through this. You can see where we want to take this. Again, this might change the more we launch fully into the community and work out exactly what people would like. But we definitely have room for expansion. But we're starting with the basics in our phase one. So what the search will do is, depending on your location, the system's going to default to whatever country you're in. It's going to default on service. You can then search further by the state or the province. If you wanted to find a particular suburb, for example, what's on at Noosa in Queensland or in Bondi Beach, then you would fill in the particular suburb that you're after. Or if you wanted to find something really specific, you could put in keywords, because as you can imagine, this might really grow. So if you wanted to find, this list is really long and you wanted to go and find a drum circle, if you typed in the word drum circle and you hit on that, it's going to take you to it's going to default on the services page. But if you clicked on events then, and you use this filter at the top, it's going to narrow that down quite a bit for you. So you don't even have to worry about finding the correct category or the country or anything. So that's quite a powerful search. And what we're doing with this search as well is it's not just going to look at the title or the suburb. I'll show you in a moment once we're logged in. But once you click on view more and you go to the details of this event, if you've got specific words in there, this search will find it as well. So really important to, I guess, use the correct words in your description. But we'll get to that in a moment. All right, so back on our homepage. Now, to get started, you would join as a service provider, and we're going to talk about the starter plan. So when you sign up, it's going to default to the premium plan. I've got a video that talks more about the premium and value plan, but for now, I'm just going to talk to the starter plan. So it's going to, for launch, even when you sign up with the starter plan, we will change your subscription manually, on our side to the premium plan. We're not going to charge you. You're going to have access to the premium plan for 30 days. And then after 30 days, if you haven't chosen a paid plan, we'll just switch you back to the starter plan. So that's just a bit of a launch celebration. So when you when you register, there's a few fields that we ask you to complete. So pretty much all the fields are mandatory, even loading an image. I think things like business number, that's not mandatory. So when you register and it doesn't go to the next stage, then just make sure you've got all the fields and that your passwords are nice and strong. This is where you put your different your different modalities according to that homepage. Don't worry, you can go and change this after you've registered. So you can always come and change this. Your different qualifications, we don't have a list of qualifications, so you can just, type in yoga teacher or, whatever the next one is. So that's all fine. Just use proper capitals. Once you've selected register and all your fields are correct, you're going to then get a one-time password in your email. And then once you've got that email from us, you're then able to log in. So I'm just going to log in with a demo account that I created on InterSoul. And this is a demo account using the starter plan. So when you log in for the first time, this is going to be a blank canvas. This will populate over time as you use it. So on your dashboard, every time someone clicks on your business page, which I'll show you in a moment, it's going to start counting. And it's also going to count here how many page visits you've got. There's also an option on your business page for people to follow you, so you can see how many followers you've got. This section here is really more to do with our paid plans. So with premium and value plan, you can actually use our internal booking system. So it's really mostly for services. So if you've got any service offerings, people can come and book on InterSoul. We've got a whole workflow where you get notifications, automatic notifications to your seeker, whether it's been cancelled or rescheduled. So the system handles all of it. You can block out your calendar so people can't book you. But yeah, I talk more about this in another video, so I'm not going to talk too much about this. But what I did want to show is we do have a little inbuilt walkthrough. So each page has got its own little walkthrough. Important to note, you need to be on the actual page and then click on the specific walkthrough, and you can just kind of keep following next. It explains the seeker mode. But what I did want to tell you is to keep following the guide for each page, to keep seeing that next button. You do need to get to the next stage. So if you then go into edit mode, then the walkthrough continues. So just be aware that if you're somewhere and the walkthrough stopped working, or not stopped working, it's just that you need to go to the next page. So if you wanted to see how you enter a service, to keep going, you actually need to go and add a service, and then the walkthrough will continue. So you can start that at any time. Just make sure you're on the page and then click this information icon and follow the internal guide. All right, so on the business page, once you've registered, a few of the things that you've already populated will pop up. Your email you can't change because that's what you've used to log in. So if you need to change the email, you need to contact us. Your image, I suggest it's probably, if you've got a business logo, then that's probably the image you're going to use, depending if you're a sole trader or a business. You can have your website link, your business name. These are all the things you've filled in already. Social media links, we'll probably change it at some stage. Things like Twitter, it's not called Twitter anymore. So we'll probably add things like YouTube and TikTok. So, we'll stay up to date with whatever trends we've got. Then the About page, this is where you talk about all your services. And this is especially important for people who are going to be using the starter plan, where you really want to just showcase to people all the different offerings you've got. So when they land on your page and you want to direct them to your website, then make sure you talk to them about your different offerings. And we've got quite a few tools here to help you make this nice and pretty. The other thing I wanted to show you, if I go back and click on my business page, we've got the option here to say view as a seeker. So when you're a service provider, you can log into InterSoul as a seeker as well. So you can go in and book other services. But the way to do that, you can either go in here, that's where you manage your subscription as well. But you can either go here, log in as a seeker, or you can be on this page and you say view as a seeker. And what that would do is it will show you how your page is going to look if you were a seeker. So you can kind of play around with your fonts and your sizes to make sure that everything looks okay. And then once you go and add services, which I'll show in a moment, and all your events and retreats, they can see it on this business page. So it's just all in the nice one place. I might show this now. So when you are logged in as a seeker, so this is now currently your business page, and this is when you are logged in as a seeker. And when you now go into the home page, you will see there's little icons that comes up as well. So this is telling the seeker now how they can find specific keywords and using suburbs and things like that. The seeker also has a dashboard. So currently this is now me as a service provider logged in as a seeker. So it's my details as a service provider that's coming up. We've also got a little mini little walkthrough for the seeker to help them, work through their steps. It's not too much, but really what they've got is when they book something on InterSoul using the InterSoul booking system, they will actually see the bookings in the calendar. They've got a map view. They'll have a list of bookings coming up. And they've also got they can also view all here. We've got this functionality on InterSoul, which we call our seeker feed. So it's very similar to something you would find on your Facebook feed or your LinkedIn feed. So you as a service provider can create posts, and these posts will appear up here. So for example, if you were running a weekly men's circle and weather was bad and you wanted to say to people, hey, it's been cancelled, then that's one way of doing it. On our paid plans, we've actually got functionality where we've got Facebook integration. So if you run a Facebook page, it's only for Facebook pages, not for a Facebook profile. But if you posted something on your Facebook page, then it will automatically appear up here as well. And then there's just another section to do advertising. And then we've got, for each service or events, they've got their own filtering system as well. All right, so if you wanted to go back in as your service provider, you can either close this directly or you can come in here. All right, so that's your page. Now to create a service, I've already created a few services here, so feel free to go and look at them and just see how I've set them up. It's just different examples. But really what you will do, and this is on a starter plan, you're pretty limited as to the functionality you've got. But what you can do is you can load up to 5 images when you create a specific service. This is all self-explanatory of what they are. If you're listing a free service, you would just put in a 0 amount and it will come up on the system as free. If it's an online event, then the address mandatory field will disappear and you can take out the address and you can just put in the meeting URL. You have the option to, if you've got a provider by their bio, you can also have a little image for them. The description is really important because, as I said, we've got that discovery search. So if you want to be found for specific keywords, either make sure you've got it in the title or have it in the description. So when people go and find or looking for a specific service, then they're going to find you. Then under the service booking system, because you're on the starter plan, you don't get the InterSoul booking system, but you can still use external systems. So either you direct people to your website, or if whatever external booking system you use for services, just enter the link. And what happens is when someone goes and books something, it's just going to direct them to your external link. So that's how you would add a service, and you can always go back in and you can edit the service. So this is an example of one that I've done. So I'm using Humanitics as an example here. Sorry, that's just some dummy data that I've put in here. But then what it's going to look like, I'm just going to go back into as a seeker. So depending on the tags that you use, when it's online, it will come up as online. If you've got something for free, it will come up as free. If it's both online and free, it will have both the tags on there. Just wanted to show you the different ways it's going to show up. So for services, what I would suggest is if you're a yoga studio and you've got, I'm sure you would already have a really robust, website or booking system. But it would be great for the seeker if they can go to an area and they want to find, a yoga studio and certain types of yoga classes. And they don't want to go in through multiple Google searches to go and find out. So what you could do as a minimum, you could probably just create a service, call it, this is a yoga teacher. Let me go and find the other example I had. Studio. So you could call, you've got a yoga studio, so already people can find a yoga studio. But you could then list, have the keywords in there so people can go and see, okay, there's different yoga classes in here. You could maybe have your minimum starter price as the price. But here you're kind of saying, visit our website to explore further sessions for, maybe we've got further events and retreats and things like that. So you can either have like a one service page to just explain it, but then direct people to your website. Or if you have a bit more time, then it would be really good if you create maybe a service type for each yoga style. So maybe you've got hatha yoga or yin yoga or flow yoga or, hot yoga, whatever. Maybe you've got a service for each. So if people go and search it, they can at least find the different ones. Or you just list it all, in that one page. This example is if, for example, maybe you're an online yoga teacher, or not even an online yoga teacher. Maybe you come to people's home. You offer private yoga classes. So maybe you're not affiliated with a specific yoga studio. You can still come and advertise your business on here. You can either use our free plan, or you could use our paid plan and then run your bookings through our booking system. So different ways how you could use the system to kind of make it work for you and also work for the seeker so they can come and find you. Then under events, again, you can get really creative. Like I said, for communities, you've got weekly drum circles or weekly men's yoga or weekly women's circles or yoga on the beach or something. You can still come and advertise it on here for free. You could list it as it for free. Your events and retreats are all kind of set up in the same place. You just need to literally click one button to identify whether it's a retreat or event. But it's pretty basic to set up. So same scenario, you can add up to 5 images. These are all pretty stock standard fields. For events, we've got the option to add an early bird price or an early bird end date. Again, if something is free, then just put a 0 in there. If it's a retreat, if you clicked on add an event but you want to make it a retreat, you could just click on is a retreat. Again, if it's online, then you click online and you enter the meeting URL, and then event availability, and again, the booking link then, and the description, if you wanted to put hosted by, and then you can go save and publish. You can go put something back to draft and then go and edit it and then come back and publish it. And what the system also does, it kind of keeps track of where you're at. So it will, if something is in draft or active, if something is live, the system's going to see, okay, it's actually now the 28th. So it's going to say it's live. And oh, that's a long date. Look at that event. I've put the wrong dates in there. And it's going to keep track of what's closed and what's been cancelled. Something that I forgot to mention on services, because in some cases, we do need to make the start and end dates mandatory. But let's say it's a regular service, like your yoga classes. It's not an event, it's something really regular, right? So just put the start and end date for the whole year, or 2 years, or 5 years, or whatever. So that, because start and end dates can either be, a specific date range, or it's just ongoing. For something ongoing, just put a really long range. So that's how you would handle that scenario. All right, Facebook integration, that is part of our paid plans. Seekers, this is actually something that we're probably going to block out as well. This is more for when you use our booking system. You can see who's booked and you've got all their details. So you won't get that with the starter plan. Managed posts, this is, like I said, where you can go and create a post on that Seeker feed. So you could load up a few images, title, and description. So pretty basic. That's how you create a post. Bookings, you can't get access to that page. That's one of the paid plans. So that's just a 22-minute video, of how you can potentially use the starter plan. But I think there are different ways you could use it. You just need to get a little bit creative. You can make it as detailed or undetailed. And hopefully you like it, because it would benefit our seekers a lot if we can get as many service providers on here as possible. So again, like I said, it's the one place where you can go and find anything and anything in this space. All right. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye.